Family of Jasmine Newhouse says they should be preparing for her graduation tomorrow, but instead, they're in the hospital at her bedside, praying she pulls through.
There is no processing this. This is my worst nightmare, and I just wish I could be woken up from. My baby did not deserve this.
Juana Sibley says her daughter, Jasmine Newhouse, had been in a relationship with her boyfriend, Dexter Booty, for about 5 months.
There's been numerous domestic violence calls made to the sheriff's department. She would leave, she would go back, she would leave, she would go back.
Around 3 a.m. Saturday, Livingston Parish deputies responded to a call about a shooting at an apartment complex on Magnolia Beach Road. Jasmine was found shot in the neck. Booty told investigators the couple was arguing and wrestling over a gun when it fired.
She has such a good heart. She loves so genuinely that she didn't see all the evil that I seen in this man. I begged her to come home. I begged her to leave the situation, that we would figure it out. We would work it out. It was okay to just come home.
Jasmine's family says she was preparing to graduate from the Livingston Parish Adult Education Program on Thursday.
I'm angry. I am so angry. I am so angry. He was so selfish. He lived his life. He took that from my baby.
Sibley says she wants to be a voice for Jasmine.
There are so many other people like Jasmine out there, especially young girls, and it's very easy to get
Manipulated
lost in all of that and become the victim like Jasmine has.
Patty Joy Freeman, Executive Director of Iris Domestic Violence Shelter, says there are resources available for those who may be going through domestic violence.
Those who are going through that type of situation, that young, those are the person's teenagers you want to reach out to, or you want to find somebody who can reach out to them.
Definitely wanted to highlight this story here because this is like kind of like a running thing. Guys are going outside, man. You can find situations where women are going outside, but guys, man, at an all-time high, just going out real sad. And this young lady was shot in the neck. So apparently, her and her boyfriend were arguing. They were staying in an apartment together, and the guy said they was fighting over a gun, and she was shot in the neck. I'm not sure why a gun would come out in a situation between you and your girlfriend. It's the whole thing. And then, you get to wrestling over it. Of course, the gun has the potential to go off. And that's the mother was saying, this guy lived his life, and now, she was trying to graduate and go on and do things for herself. And, now, being shot in the neck, man, hopefully she's able to pull through and survive this whole thing. But she'll more than likely never be the same after that fact. You know, and then, when you look, it's just like, guy, he definitely looks, older than the young lady. Not sure how old because they didn't mention ages and stuff like that. But it just definitely is a very, very sad situation, and hopefully she's able to pull through. Um, but if you are in a situation like this and you don't speak up, this is the type of stuff that can actually happen, or even worse. You may not even make it to the hospital to even try to recover. So you have to speak up. You can't stay silent about these things. And apparently she was speaking with her mother about this. It looks like her grandmother was kind of knowledgeable of what was going on. And the mother was basically saying how she was begging her daughter to come back to her, move back in. They'll try to figure it out to get out of the situation, because she didn't like the signs of what she seen out of the young man. And you know it, a lot of us know these type of stories or have went through these type of stories before, to where if the parents are not seeing what you see in this person, then you may just want to kind of take another look at it, the whole situation, overall, and the person that you're dealing with. And a lot of times, man, you can get caught up in that fictitious bliss of love, and you end up falling victim to that. You think someone loves you, but then things turn violent. You know, even before they turn violent, you can find yourselves in frequent arguments, frequent disagreements, and those are all signs, man, that that's not going to be a long-term solution or a long-term relationship for you. But a lot of people dodge those signs, man. A lot of people are, you're naive. They always say young and naive and stuff like that. But life is too precious to be young and naive. You have to start making better decisions and have discernment as far as who you're giving your time to, who you're spending your time with, and who you definitely getting into a relationship with and choosing to stay with. And once things start to spiral, it's just best to get up out of there. And it's easier said than done, but that's why the lady here at the end is basically saying, okay, there's resources, and there's gonna be resources in all places where you can go and talk to someone, or crisis hotlines and stuff like that. But you don't want to stay around and be a victim of domestic violence. I can tell you that. You definitely don't want to do that. I wouldn't advise any of my female family or any of my female friends to stick around and be a part of the domestic violence, no matter what side it's on. Whether it's guys getting uh you know the violence is heavy towards, or whether it's women. You definitely just don't want to stick around and just think, oh well, this person's going to change and everything's going to work out. And once you start seeing those signs, man, you really just got to get up out of there. So, it's really no justification for any of this. And I definitely want to be, a creator that's going to speak against this type of stuff, because, this cannot be the new norm out here. Of course, domestic violence and stuff like that has been going on for a long time, way before I was even thought of. But, at some point, people have to, each individual person, because you can't really generalize this type of stuff. But if you're going through something like this, man, get up out of there. Find your way out, no matter what. You don't have to announce it. Just find a way out. Get up out of there. Go on and live your life. Again, life is real precious, man. You got people who are young getting killed and throwing their life away, getting, incarcerated. You got older people who are dying of natural causes, getting killed, or just throwing their life away. And, you know, life is just too precious. None of us never know, when our day and time will come. But until then, you want to live your best life, because you only have one life, you know, within this world. So it's just really not worth it over what's supposed to be love, and turns out that's not love. Sometimes you get with someone who sees that you're trying to do something well in your life, and they're not doing so well in their life, so they want to put a fork in your road, put a dent in your armor, prevent you from moving on with your life and doing better with your life. So once you come to this realization, it'll hopefully click in your head, hey, I might need to distance myself from this person, and just go on and try to just live the best life that I can live, with this time that I do have on this earth. But yeah, hopefully she's able to recover. And it's just pretty sad, when you have your parents on the news, and they're having to speak up for you and speak out for you over something where they've it seems like this mother has told her multiple times that she may need to get out of this situation. So, we know, as teens get older, they get rebellious, or they don't want to listen to their parents. They feel like they know it all, and they feel like they can change people, or, things will get better. And, a lot of times you just have to realize that's not the case. And you may want to listen to someone who's more than likely been there or seen that, and they're more than likely speaking to you from experience or just knowledge and knowing, this is how things will end up. I'm gonna go ahead and close out this vid. If you want to put any comments in the video, as far as this situation, or maybe even your own situation, you're more than welcome to. Make sure you just comment, like, and subscribe. Like the video, take a look at the long form. A lot of people take a look at the shorts. Take a look at the long form video because it's where I really give my full thoughts on everything. And yeah, this is Justin Paul. Peace.